Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Football United TV. Now, this usually is Football United Airways. It kind of still is, Charlie, right? But because of this news that's come out in the last 24 hours, we felt it was necessary to pretty much get everybody's thoughts and opinions on the matter that is going on right now, and that is this new Europe Super League. And this is devastating news for me, and I know a lot of other people in the world of football, fans, and even players and managers, I'm pretty sure, are pretty uptight about this. So we wanted to talk about it today for like the next hour or so. So anybody who's tuning in, please do subscribe, share, like, and get in the comments, because we really want to get into a really good discussion about this. We are joined today by, obviously, co-host, co-owner of the channel, Charlie.
Hello there.
Chris Paul's back with us again, co-host for the Football United Airways. How you doing, mate?
I'm doing good.
Good. And we've got a new person here from Paris, Matthew from the Football Viewer. How are you doing?
Yes, from France. I'm doing fantastic. What about you?
Apart from the news, mate, yeah, not too bad. I've not been feeling too well today either, so I'm I didn't want to do it really, but then I was like, you know what, this is so important. I think this would be good to do. So look, let's start with you, Matthew, mate. I mean, you're an Inter Milan fan, or you was an Inter Milan fan. We'll get onto that in a minute. But what do you make of the news that's come out in the last 24 hours, mate? Are you sad about this?
Terribly sad. Disappointed in my club. Disappointed in pretty much everyone that is in the head. President Steven Zhang, President Zanetti, club legend, they've shown interest in making the club great again. They said we will challenge for the Champions League, etc. And I mean, what about it? It's nothing now. So very disappointed. We've covered the news. We've seen pretty much everything. So I have a great overview, I'd say, of what happened, and it's not great. It's not great. It's not good looking. Whether it is in England, in Spain, or in Italy, I'm only happy that both the French Ligue 1 and the German Bundesliga haven't joined. Any club haven't joined the Super League. I'm proud of them. So that's about it.
I guess that's because, isn't it 51% of the shareholders in, say, Bayern Munich and Dortmund are fans, so they can't. That's the reason why they've not been able to do it, because the fans have blocked it, which is just something I think that a lot of other leagues need in Europe. Do you know what I mean? Completely. The ownership from fans really is important.
I'm stopping you right there, because technically Real Madrid and Barcelona are also owned by the fans, so it's kind of not only up to the fans technically. It's up to the views of the fans, and the president has a big role in it. Like, Karl-Heinz Rummenigge isn't for the idea of a Super League. He said it. He released a statement on Twitter in which he said he's against. And even then, you have clubs like Paris Saint-Germain, who is run by the Qataris, and they're still against. I mean, there's a reason behind it, because Nasser Al Khelaifi owns beIN Sports, and owning beIN Sports, they have the right for the Champions League. So, of course, it would be detrimental to have the Super League, but still, they're against. And even Lyon, President Jean-Michel Aulas, backtracked. He always supported Andrea Agnelli, who's kind of the spiritual father of the Super League, even though Florentino Perez is the man behind the creation of it. But he backtracked, and he said in a tweet that for the well development of football, we need to build bridge, not walls, literally word for word. So that shows things.
I agree with that 100%, and I didn't actually really know that about Madrid and Co. So that is quite interesting. Sorry, that's quite interesting that you say that. We got Bargav and Beyond the Post in here, guys. How are you doing? Welcome in.
Good to be here.
Yeah, it's always a blessing to be here, Matt.
Thank you for coming, Bargav. We wanted to get your American opinion about this, because obviously, you know, with the NFL, it looks similar, or the MLS as well. It looks like it's going to be a similar thing. Charlie, let's ask you next then, I guess, mate. How are you feeling about this? And your shirt kind of replicates the feeling right now, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, we're not to blame whatsoever, but I do want to apologize to our audience. We should have, we're supposed to be flying to Italy right now. We couldn't because of 12 extremely greedy boards. I'm embarrassed, Maddie. I'm embarrassed. I mean, unlike a lot of fans in Brazil, I legitimately support Arsenal just as much as I support Fluminense. It's not like geography is not going to stop me there. And I love the club. And one thing that I was always craving, was an European trophy, a Champions League trophy to be more specific. And we're running away from the competition before we win it. It's absolutely embarrassing, mate. It's embarrassing, and it's so disrespectful, mate. It's so disrespectful. Like I don't condone violence, but I have no idea how Stan Kroenke's okay. Like how he hasn't gotten slapped by anyone, because like what he's doing to the club and what these 12 like boards or presidents or owners or whatever the crap they are, like what they're doing to the clubs is just so disrespectful. It goes against the base of the club, which are the fans. We don't like this. Like it's interesting to see that in such a divisive world, right? Like nowadays, no one agrees in anything. Like VAR, whatever you want to talk about, people disagree. I haven't seen one person in support of this stupid idea. Not one. Not
That
one.
would be
It's
me.
unified
That would
us.
be me. That would be me.
Oh wow. Okay, that's interesting.
Explain.
That's interesting.
Explain.
So I was just going through some of the tweets that are online and some of the other data that is around. So one of the guys had mentioned that the UEFA made $3.3 billion in 2019 from the Champions League and the Europa League. And what was the prize money that they spent? 300 million from $3.3 billion that they made. This
To the
was the
winner.
difference. Yeah, the overall
To the
pricing.
winner. Because it's
The
2
overall
billions
pricing.
for every team. It's 2 billion they give.
No, 2 million. It was 300 million. That eventually the total amount that they spent out of 3.3 billion was only 300 million approximately. So that was the kind of difference in the money that UEFA was actually making from the Champions League and the Europa League. And this was the kind of money that they were giving to the clubs. Now, looking at the situation of clubs like Barcelona, who are broke in a way, Juventus coming out and saying that we don't have the money to pay Ronaldo his wages. And we did before the pandemic. We don't have it anymore. Arsenal having to let go of so many staff members, which none of us liked as Arsenal fans. Other clubs, some of the clubs struggling with finances. We know that some of the big clubs not having the money. And that is why they have finally decided. I'm not saying about Manchester City, Chelsea. These clubs have enough money. The owners are spending money, not these clubs, but some of the other clubs which are willing to join this, because you see that a lot of top clubs with a lot of history and a lot of things at stake have decided to join this league. All of a sudden, they are ready to give up everything just for, you think, a few bucks? I don't think so. I think it is more about an existential battle where they feel that if they don't make more money or more profits, that within maybe 5 years or 6 years, they will be heading towards bankruptcy. And that is why they have decided that we don't want to just focus on what UEFA is giving us, when we can have the entire pot and we can grow and we can self-sustain for the long run as well.
See, Nitesh, I think what he's trying to say, I think I'm if I misunderstand, is the clubs aren't getting the majority of the money nowadays with the Champions League and everything that comes with that. So in that sense, with the creation of the Super League, I think they get to keep more of that money. And in ways, the theory is that it's going to trickle down to other people, and especially with the big clubs. And sometimes I think about this because would you rather have your money go towards some bureaucrat, or like would you rather have some of it so that you can actually spend on like lower clubs? The biggest thing I think is people, when it comes to money, people always get a little bit antsy, right? Talking about it. If the clubs themselves get majority of the money, the theory is like they'll help out the leagues in a way that they see fit versus like some bureaucrat at UEFA getting a bunch of money. So this is an angle I kind of understand. The one part I kind of understand also is like in terms of like the money side of things is, for the most part, like people are ruthless in business. I mean, I get that, when it comes to business, people are ruthless, and these guys are CEOs. and people are blaming the Cronkies and the American owners. It always comes down to the American owners and whatnot. But for the most part, I think it depends on who's getting the majority of this money. And if somebody's pocketing this, it's kind of wrong. The part I disagree with is that makes this complicated. For me, is the essence of the game. I think this is the part that I think everyone is really, really upset about, like all across the board. And that's the fact that, you'd have like teams like Aston Villa, you'd have teams like Fulham. What happens to them in the big picture because the big teams are no longer part of their league, and that's the part where like local rivalries and the culture itself is gone. The essence of football is not going to go because I think that any kid can pick up a soccer ball or football and learn tricks and whatnot. But it changes things. I don't know if it's for the good or bad. And this is one viewpoint that I'm kind of struggling to comprehend also myself.
Yeah, that Bargav made some good points there, Chris. Would you agree with him on that?
Not really. I'm completely against the formation of a league like this because you are basically excluding these 12 clubs who call themselves big. Nobody's calling them the big clubs. They make their own league and they earn the money themselves. It's only going to be in these 12 teams. These 12 teams are going to make the money. Nobody else. No one else is benefiting from this. And what about the whole point of football? Competition. The whole essence of football is going to be gone. Competition. You remember when Leicester won the title? Did anyone expect that to happen? Nobody did. They went to the Champions League. I think they went to the round of 16 as well. I'm not sure about that.
Semi-finals.
It's the hope that every football fan in England know that their team could reach the Champions League. And now they're taking away from that. Now, I saw this very interesting post on Instagram saying, you know how people call leagues farmers leagues and etc. In the future, we could see people saying, oh, you won the Premier League without any of these teams in it. This is a farmers league. The trophy doesn't matter. We never know. The essence of football is being taken away here. And Nitesh, talking about the money aspect you said there, you only talked about the prize money part. There other, and 3.3 billion is the total revenue. UEFA have their own costs in organizing the competitions themselves, and prize money is just a small part of it. And they have to pay. They will give clubs money for qualifying for the competition itself. So the smaller clubs who don't have much money gain revenue for qualifying for these competitions. And when the ESL comes, the amount of this revenue UEFA receives will be less. The clubs will receive less. The Aston Villa, if they qualify the Europa League, they'll get less money than before. So that's why I'm completely against a Super League. That's all. And last point, and talking about my own club, Liverpool, who I've been supporting since 2010, it hurts me because our club was based on socialist foundations. We are the club of the people, and this is what's happening to us. In the 70s, in the 60s we were in the second division, but nobody expected us to win 3 European trophies in the matter of 10 years in the 70s.
4.
It's that hope. That's all I'm gonna say. That's my take on this topic.
I see you. Sorry. Yeah, I did see that Bargav was going to say something there.
Well, no, I mean he just gave a counter to what I think what he sees. Here's the thing. I think do you guys really think like the Super League's going to kill all the domestic leagues?
Yes, especially the lower leagues.
But is there like an alternate view in the sense like the local leagues are going to stay regardless of the culture, right? They're going to stay. You can't take away from Aston Villa, Birmingham. You can't take away the South Coast rivalries, right? And they'll still around England. They're still going to be massive. But the only thing that changes, I think, is like the players are going to go to these like top teams, which could be like a celebration of English football when they do go to the Super League. Would that be an alternate viewpoint? Because I've been hearing that.
Bargav, I'd like to answer your question with a question. Like how many people do you know that watch the Spanish basketball league? It's a great basketball league,
Yeah.
by the way, but like every single great player goes to the NBA.
That is true. That is
So
true.
at this point, either that happens and like every single like major talent's going to be going to this main league that's going to be created, then it screws up the rest, or this is just a huge flop.
Yeah,
So
but at the same
anyway,
time,
it's going to be disturbing. It's going to be
at the same
disturbing
time,
balance in the force.
But-
NBA players though, NBA players, right? Like when you look at NBA players, they tend to be the most individual players of across the board of any sport, right? Their stories are told really, really well.
Mhm.
Like you know who LeBron James is, you know who Kevin Durant is, you know, even even players that are in the mid tier of the NBA, they're pretty well known. And do you think with that said though, like with the Super League, the players themselves would benefit more in the long run?
And can I add just one quick thing? The league is supposed to be a replacement for the Champions League and the Europa League. It's not going to be a replacement for the domestic league. It is actually a cup competition which has been made in a way to replace the Champions League and the Europa League, and a combined league format followed by the knockout and the final. So they had considered, I have gone through the format, they have considered that the domestic circuit will not be touched. That is the traditional one. But it is unfortunately that is the FA and UEFA who don't want anything to do with it, and they want to throw these teams out because they are not ready to play the Champions League and Europa League according to their rules, and have set up this extra competition where they feel that they will make the money rather than giving it to UEFA. And
Okay.
the reason they have actually done it is because they had demanded that, as I said, the 3.3 billion, there must be some expenses obviously added to it, but the prize money and the revenue generated, there was no comparison in the amount that was actually being offered to these teams as a return of what they were giving back to UEFA as well. That is their fan bases, the revenue generation, and overall what the overall profit was being generated. When they tried to reason with UEFA has shut them down, saying that we are the governing body and we are the only authority that is there in Europe, and you don't have a right to do anything about it. And where they've suddenly come out with this league and as a rebellion.
Yeah.
May I intervene?
Matthew,
Please do.
please.
Yeah, because like what people don't get is currently there are only 12 teams. Like there are just 12 teams. Nobody wants to join them, and that leads me to actually develop on a few points. Do you know how many players are in a team? Like how many players, professional players, are in Tottenham Hotspur, for example? Do you guys know, have a clue approximately? How many players?
I'd say none, but rivalry.
Yeah, but like Arsenal, Manchester United, any team like Juventus.
Like 50.
First team
like
scored
50.
20.
Yeah,
20
there's about between 20 to 20 is low. It's usually 25 to 35 usually, and there are 12 teams. Like multiply 30 by 12, it's not many players, and that includes players that are going to be in the reserve, that are never going to play because there is no lower league, and because there is no second division, the reserve players aren't going to play in the B team because they have nowhere to play. So that all in all, there is much less spots for great players to go in, without money, because everyone is like, yeah, but the Premier League will remain the Premier League. I mean, no, because the Premier League dragged so much money because there is the Big Six. Without the Big Six, it drags pretty much nothing. So with less money to invest in youth development, etc., and players realizing that, well, fuck, sorry for swearing, but I need to be really, really good to actually play in the Super League. So there is barely any spots. Youth development is not going to go well for the selling clubs, because Ajax, Leicester, etc. I mean, yes, they're going to be selling their great players, etc. But in the long run, the Super League clubs are just going to invest themselves. So, I mean, that's one point. And then, and that's the last thing I want to develop, the lower leagues. I mean, they're going to crumble, the semi-professional leagues, because it's in the name, semi-professional. If there is no money in it, because semi-professional leagues get their money just based on the leagues above them, because when getting promotion, you gain more money, etc. So that's basically how it works, to sum up briefly. So with barely no money, they're just going to turn into Sunday league, non-professional football. So the level is just going to drop massively. I would say like the third, fourth, fifth year of any any country football. Sorry, will just be non-professional football. And lastly, the lower leagues, as we like to call them, the farmers league, as some call them. I mean, what are they going to play for? I mean,
Yeah.
to
And
play
just
they're going to play what? They're not going to play the Super League. They're not going to play. So what's the point? How are they going to develop? They can't.
Hold your
So-
thought, Charlie. Hold your thought. Just want to shout out a few comments and say thank you for the new subscribers. The lights are coming in right now, so thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. I just want to shout out a few, Charlie. Please, that in mind, we will go straight back to you. Perez literally said he will create his own World Cup, and if
That's
the players are
fake.
banned from playing,
That's fake.
That's proven
well,
fake.
Klopp. We'll go back to him. Klopp hasn't been sacked. Lauren Wood says Arsenal Football Company. Ouch.
Lauren.
Ouchie. Big up Lauren as well. Big up everyone on the panel. Your cousin Anthony's here, Charlie. We'll get back to what he says when he's talking about I won't be supporting them, which I wanted to ask everybody in a little bit anyway. And I know Matthew's going to tell us exactly why he won't be or doesn't want to support Inter Milan anymore. Will you guys be protesting, says Miss Molina. This is the question I was going to ask in a minute after Charlie has his go. Sevilla announces they're not joining the Super League and they've no interest in this kind of project. So yeah, going back to what you were saying, Charlie, and then I'll ask the question of what if everybody will continue to support in their club, and if they won't, who they might look at following.
Yeah. Just I want actually I'm just adding one more point to Mathieu's point here. It's even if the local leagues, right, the national leagues and FIFA, they back down, they actually let these clubs stay in the, like Arsenal stays in the Premier League. Look at the leagues right now. Like, it's miraculous when a club that's not like one of these great clubs wins. Like, it's very rare.
Yeah.
Imagine adding another 300 million euro difference in income. How are they supposed to compete? You're killing the league no matter what. It's actually in their interest to not have these big clubs and find other ways, like just become a smaller niche, but like actually they stand a chance of winning, because if these clubs stay, like how is West Ham going to compete with Man City? Like, they don't now. How are they going to compete with this difference? It's just killing the game. It's just like there's no sustainable way of doing this.
Can I
No.
also, yeah, I want to add to what all the counter arguments. Okay, so Nitesh, you were saying that people can still qualify to this Super League. Let's see. There are 15 founders clubs who are
12,
staying
12,
there permanently. 12,
Yeah, but
12.
they want to find 3 more. Yeah,
They want to find 3 more.
they won't.
Yeah, and they want 5 people who can qualify. And these 5 people won't be from all of these leagues, like the Hungarian league where Salzburg are from. It won't be from
leagues.
yeah, only top 5 leagues. And let's just go to the essence of the Champions League. You remember when Haaland played Liverpool?
Yeah.
That's where he was on the big stage. Do you think people would know who Haaland was before he played in the Champions League? We won't find these gems of players in the Super League because these are already the top players people already know about. We can't find anyone new.
Chris, I guess as well, like top players, if they're being told, and I said this earlier, especially with Brazilian players, if they're going to be told that they can't play for their national team, but they can play in this league, do you think they're going to dob out their national team? I'm glad Charlie's saying that, because I know that the Brazilian national team means so much more than any super league or money, or it's passion, isn't it, to be able to put that shirt on? So I can't see that happening from that perspective.
I mean, money talks more than anything. Money talks more than anything. Like, if Neymar gets offered like 4 times more than the ridiculous amounts of money he makes already at PSG, man, he's gonna say screw you to the Brazilian national team. But But it's true, like it's not gonna be a big deal for players like Aubameyang. You know, I'm sure he loves Gabon, but like he's not gonna care as much. It's not like it's competitive. But like Brazilians, French
Yeah.
players, Italian players, like, are you kidding me?
French
Abandoning
don't
these
really.
like huge foundations that are the national teams. I don't think it's gonna be very popular. You know.
French, just look at Benzema. It's not going to matter a lot.
I had tweeted out this, that if Bayern Munich joins the mix, and say suppose their players get banned, Germany is definitely going to walk out of the Euros, because Bayern Munich and the German FA have such a strong bond that if Bayern players get banned, Germany will walk out, and other teams would also maybe follow pursuit. Because look at the players that are there in the right now for England, say example. Half of their team is already part of teams that are already going to be playing in the Super League. Their
Yes.
skipper is part of the of Spurs. So how will they manage to, like, if they put up a team now in the Euros, it will again look like a lackluster competition. I think that the main thing is that UEFA needs to sit down with these 12 teams and actually find a midpoint and get it done. And one more thing, countering Chris's argument, the Super League does not mean that the Champions League and the Europa League will cease to exist. Those competitions will be going on without these 12 or 15 teams that don't want to be part of it. And personally, I get it that the fans don't want these teams to be part of the Super League, and they would prefer them to play in the Champions League. But if a club is not making money and they're making losses, they have the right to decide the
Losses.
competition in which they want to play in.
So I wanted to
Just
go
not
back to that.
losses.
Yeah.
I wanted to go back on that question, guys. If I could, I'm going to go on. I'll ask everybody first. I will ask Matthew because you're new to the channel. What does this mean then for you supporting Inter Milan? Like you said earlier, I think before the stream, that you'll look at probably supporting somebody else. Like, is this the case with you now? Then, if this continues,
I mean, the issue is I've been supporting Inter Milan for like 15 years or so. Ever since I know what football is, I know what Inter is. I mean, football equals Inter to me, so probably not. But it's like an iffy situation in which I would much rather support nobody and call myself a neutral. Like, yeah, okay, I have an Instagram account, blah blah blah, but I'd probably be like a neutral, not saying I support somebody. Just I will just support the beautiful game. It's what is most likely going to happen. They've disappointed me because they've been the club for foreigners ever since they exist. They've been a club very attached to tradition ever since 1908, and like everything has just collapsed ever since the new logo, the new name, etc. I mean, the new name doesn't really change, but everything has just collapsed in a year. It reminds me of Juventus, like when they changed their logo, they changed their policy. Like historically, look at Juventus; they are the Italian club, the club for Italians, made by Italians. Look at it now. How many Italians play for Juventus? Like, can you name them all? Like in the starting 11, there is like one player in the midfield that is Italian, one player in the attacking lineup that is Italian, because
And one on
Dybala
defense.
just never plays. Like the
Chiellini.
defense, okay, the defense.
Bonucci.
Yeah, Bonucci, Chiellini,
Gianluigi.
Gianluigi Buffon, Chiesa. In the midfield, he's dreadful. What's the name? I can't remember. He did a great dribble against Lyon last year's Champions League. But
Is it Dybala?
Bernardeschi.
Oh.
Bernardeschi.
So Dybala is
Dybala just doesn't play. He played like 14. I've noted it down. He played like 14 games this season. He's just always injured. Yeah, 14 games, 3 goals, 2 assists. Dybala.
Plus,
But
they have someone we know, Aaron Ramsey.
Who?
Aaron Ramsey. Someone we know.
He doesn't play.
Yeah, Aaron Ramsey. Yeah, great player. No,
Aaron
my-
Ramsey.
yeah, Aaron Ramsey. But my issue is that they've completely changed their tradition, and it's kind of the same for Inter. So like, it's not that I don't support Inter. I support the old Inter. I support Il Grande Inter. I support the treble Inter. I don't support this current Inter Milan. Just it's drastically different.
How about you, beyond the post? Like, how do you feel about the team you support? Do you think you'll continue, or do you look somewhere else?
My loyalty is to the club. It's not to the Premier League. It's not to UEFA. It's not to even if Arsenal get relegated tomorrow and they're in the championship, I'm still an Arsenal fan. If they're playing, if they get banned from say maybe all top 4 divisions and they are playing in the 5th division, I'm still an Arsenal fan. I'm not a Kroenke fan. I don't care about the owners of the club. I know that we need to protest and we need to get rid of them. We have been knowing that for the last 15 odd years since they have taken over as the sole owners. We know that they don't care about the fans. But the honest fact is that even UEFA doesn't care about the fans in a lot of ways. So it's either you choose whichever evil is less evil to you. And I feel that I am an Arsenal fan, and irrespective of anything, I'll be an Arsenal fan for the rest of my life. Whichever league they're playing, I'll be watching Arsenal because I like to watch that team. It doesn't matter whether they could play in the Serie A or they could play in the French league. I would still be watching Arsenal if I wanted to.
Agreed. What about you, Bargav?
I bleed Arsenal till I die. I mean, it's been 15 years of a roller coaster. And don't get me wrong, this is for the Cronkies. I'm still, we just got bailed out. I'm not for that. It doesn't excuse the fact what you've done the last like 5-10 years. It doesn't excuse any of that. And it's still at the end of the day, competition wise, our team, we may be moving somewhat in a good direction, but like at the end of the day, like to make a competitive team, it would have been great to win the Champions League and actually earn that. So don't. This doesn't excuse anything, and this doesn't take away from anything that happened in the last 5 to 10 years. It doesn't excuse the Europa League final that we lost. It doesn't excuse any of that. As far as the essence of the game, I get as far as like this is more than just Arsenal. The essence of the game with local clubs and everything, and I get that argument. It is. We have to figure, even if this goes through, maybe that has to be figured out. The part that conflicts me is the economics. Like I just don't know. Because right now there's 2 issues. Is this good for the players? I don't. This is where my mind's gonna be made up on this. I'm still, like I said, I'm obviously everybody when the initial reaction, everybody's against it. I get that. I'm still like waving into the details of it. Is this good for the players overall? The really, really top players to get what's due to them, and what actually happens? What happens to like the development of like football in different countries, whether it be France, England, and whatnot. I think that's to be determined. The part that I also am at odds with is actually I had like another point on this. What was that? No, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like so I'm still waiting to see. Okay, so now here's the point I was trying to make. PSG and Dortmund, right? They said no to going into the Super League. So now what's happening with those teams? Are they pretty much trying to form 2 separate leagues now? And it's going to be based on money and based on self-interest? And is this like a unity in that situation with Germany and like Germany and France? France team's not even in the Super League at this point. So I'm still trying to see what's happening with that before I make a complete decision on this. So I'm still kind of neutral on this because the essence of the game, if it was based on that alone, I'm absolutely against this thing. Right, and that is the biggest thing because as a fans, that's what we care about most. But as far as the economics of what's actually going to happen and the reality of like where this money is going, instead of like top end like UEFA bureaucrats versus like the clubs themselves, which should be the beneficiaries and the high end players, I'm still waiting on that. So that's.
I think I can answer you real quick. Actually, the Champions League reform has been confirmed by the UEFA. So I don't know if you guys saw it, but I can briefly explain what it is. Should I? Yeah. Okay.
It's going to be ridiculous, by the way. It's a sucky format.
It's the same as
the new Champions League. I love it. The new Champions League. I love it. Except for the fact that yeah, I love it. The new Champions League. I currently hate the all group stages. Like group stages are just boring, in my opinion. What we're going to have is 36 teams instead of 32, 225 games instead of 125. But don't worry, it's just 4 more games per team. And basically, there's 4 groups, 9 teams in each groups. And let's take an example. It's going to be more clear. A team from Group 1 will play 2 teams from Group 1, 3 teams from Group 2, and 3 teams from Group 3, and 2 teams from Group 4. Another day, there will be they will all be added in a table, and clubs that finish from 1st to 8th will directly go to the last of 16. Club finishing from 9th to 24th will play 2 playoffs games. The ones who win the playoff will advance to the last of 16. Those who lose the playoff will go to the Europa League, and the 12 other clubs are just out of the competition, and the rest goes like normal. I
Okay,
personally like it more.
I want to press a quick pause there because both Mathieu and Bargav have raised some really interesting points that I think everyone should comment on. But CP, Matt, and myself have to answer the previous question because I think it's an interesting one as well. Because as
let's
fans,
start
to
with-
show our weekend.
Yeah. Should we start with Chris then, just to mix it up from Liverpool back to Arsenal and then
Yeah.
to Man
Yeah.
United? Chris, what you I mean, doing so well recently, getting your first Premier League, getting the Champions League as well. You look like you're on a roll, and then this happens, mate. How are you going to feel being a Liverpool supporter, mate? Are you carrying on, or are you like everybody else? You're going to continue no matter what.
Try not to raise any new points because we have to go back to the other ones.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. All I'll say is that I will be Liverpool till I die because I've been supporting this club even when we were fucking shit. We were awful. 8th, 9th, playing shit football under Roy Hodgson. And the thing is, if we still stay in the European Super League, I won't be supporting what we're doing right in the present or future. If we stay in this league or whatever, but I will be supporting our history because we have one of the richest history in world football. I love our history. That's one thing that is close to me, and I will be a Liverpool supporter forever in that sense. But I won't really care what we do in the Super League. I won't be caring about what we do there. I'll care about the past on what we actually achieved.
What about you, Charlie, with Arsenal again, mate?
It's an interesting one, mainly after these two gentlemen spoke, because I love Arsenal. I really do. Like I love it with all my heart. And I don't think I actually have the strength to stop following them. And when I watch an Arsenal game, I can't help myself but to expect, like, to hope for us to win, right? But my right and wrong sensors are going nuts here, and I do love football more than I love Arsenal. Just that the fact that I love one more than the other doesn't mean I'm gonna be able to choose sides. Thankfully I have a club. I have a club in Brazil that I love very much. Nothing's gonna change there. But Arsenal, I'm assuming it's gonna become sort of a guilty pleasure for myself, like sort of like watching Glee. Like it's gonna be something that I'm very embarrassed of loving, because I don't want to publicly support a club that's screwing football, because I do think that it's screwing football. Go to you, Matt.
Very good answer. Me, I will stop supporting Man United if they continue doing this because Man United are the ones that started this. Joel Glazer coming out with the comments that he's made, saying, this is going to be good for football and everything. 2 weeks ago, the guy didn't even know what the offside rule was. Why am I listening to someone like that to say this is better for football? Look at Matthew there, he's laughing because he knows it's true, right? It's come from the Glazers. They're the ones that started this. It's the bank in America, right? Is it JP? Who are putting up
JP Morgan.
all the money to do this. They're making the sport into a franchise, which I don't agree with because it is a working man sport. You got Man United was built up from railway workers. Do you know what I mean? And you're basically just stamping on their faces in their graves, mate. I just don't understand why you'd want to do that. The whole point of the history of football was being built up, and trying to fend off the rich universities and colleges that were making teams and not including the working man's teams, and that's changed. And without fans, there is no football, is there? Like many sports, anyway. So I would have to say I'm going to leave. Like a lot of people have Man United already and gone and followed like Salford City or who was it? United of Manchester. Yeah. So I'd do that personally, but I don't want to leave the club. But I guess the club I'll always support will be from when it started. Everything in the future is not what I resemble, and I don't recognise it to be the club. I only know it from before it died. you know what I'm saying? So I'd rather remember it before it died than when then
Yeah,
basically.
that's exactly what
May I just
want-
say one little thing? Like it's gonna be real short. Like we're all like, yeah, American owners, yeah, it's kind of the Glazers, etc. But like, do you know how many American owners we have in European football? Do you know how many? Like, just in
However
Ligue
many's
1,
in a shit ton.
I mean, Olympique de Marseille, Nice, Fiorentina. What's the other club in Italy?
Parma.
Yes, but it is another as well. I mean, just in Italy, there's like 6 or 7 clubs owned by Americans. Like in Liga, it's the same. Saint-Etienne is about to be bought by an American. Liverpool, Manchester United. Isn't like a Burnley also owned by Americans? Like everybody
Yeah,
is
they
owned by
have a new
Americans.
investment firm coming in.
I think Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds are purchasing the oldest club in history, right? It's an English club.
Wrexham,
North
one of the
County?
oldest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
North County is the oldest.
I
North County.
I mean,
It's not. It's not actually. Sheffield Football Club is the oldest
Yeah,
club in the world.
I
No,
want
but
Oldest club in the world is a German club, jokingly enough.
Oh,
we're talking about in
1850.
England.
1850.
oh, look, that's that. Oh, that blows me out the
Still
water.
active. They are getting promoted to the Bundesliga this season. They are first of the Bundesliga too. Let me
I
get
guess,
the name.
I guess it's professional, isn't it, Matthew? Though I guess that's the whole.
Oldest professional club. Yeah.
So I don't know, like
Really?
the situation. Oh, go ahead.
no, it's all good.
VFL Bochum. I don't know
Oh,
if I pronounce it
Bochum,
wrong.
yes.
Yeah.
I want
Oldest professional club active.
Well, you heard it here
Bargav,
first, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Bargav, to jump in. It's just that you guys raised some great points before, and I don't want to miss out on those. I want to get everyone's opinion on this new format of the Champions League because I personally don't like it. But I want to address something, sorry, that Bargav said. I'm not that worried about players in general. I mean, it's gonna be confusing, right? Like, cause I don't know if they're gonna try to like ban transfers as well. Like, it's gonna be a confusing mess. As for talent and development, fortunately, football's very worldwide, right? Like, we're using the NBA as an example. They're much more like talented footballers than there are basketball players around the world. I don't think that's gonna stop because it's gonna stay like a very popular sport. Like kids in the favelas in Rio de Janeiro are not going to stop playing football because of that. You know, like it's I feel like worldwide talent's going to still going to come. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this format. I'll go last if you guys have anything to talk about that format that he just presented.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Yeah, go first.
I want to see the implementation. I've heard the idea. I kind of like it because there are more teams coming into the Champions League, but and more games. But I want to see the actual implementation in place, like the actual final product.
Yeah.
So I'll hold my opinion on that.
Yeah, finish.
Go, Matthew.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I personally like it. I can explain why I like it because all current group stages, I mean, they're boring. Like, okay, we usually have 1 or 2 group of death. But I mean, Inter Milan, we were twice in the group of death. We twice didn't make it through. But like, take that aside. When you have a group of, let's imagine one real quick. It's gonna be tough to make one actually. Let's say Juventus, Shakhtar, Leverkusen, and Juventus, Barcelona, Shakhtar, and let's say a Swiss club, Young Boys. I mean, we all know how this is going to end up. Like, I mean, the Barcelona and Juventus are going to make it through. Shakhtar is going to be in the Europa League, and Young Boys are going to get 0 points. So with this format, you don't really have one group to play. You have games. The games you have to play. I mean, you have to watch how everybody are doing to actually figure out if you're going to go through, which is what I like a lot. And end of the day, the playoff system is debatable. It's 2 more games. Let's see how it works out. But I mean, the fact that every game is going to actually matter is important. And one last thing, I don't know if it's true, but I've seen multiple reports on it. But apparently, we should have 10 games played at once at certain nights. Imagine a multi-zone of it, like 10 games at once. I'm signing up.
Thank you, Matthew. I just want to shout out Charlie and Stephen in the house. Stephen just had Mark Halsey on. Brilliant show, mate, as well. Very well done to you, sir. Finally,
Oh,
though,
well,
eh?
then.
For a
Yeah,
very long
I know.
time.
I was messaging him like, he ain't coming. What's he doing?
I was like, oh.
That
I
was
was
a
like trying
good
to
one.
explain somebody. It's like trying to explain somebody how to log into something without seeing what they're doing. I was like, I'm not going to get anywhere with this because I'm just like saying it in comments, and he's going to go, oh, what? But I just want to, before we go on to anything, I want to read out some more comments. Anthony says Barnett. I do support Barnett. Anthony, love. Edgar Davids was a player manager there once. Got sent off a fair few times as well, so I was glad to see him playing there. Please leave a like, subscribe to Football United TV. Yeah, we're doing very well at the moment. Thank you everybody for joining in. She'll support. Melina will support my local MLS. Who is your local MLS team, Melina? I'm guessing it's Toronto. It's in Toronto. Right. Okay. Cool. Yep. There you go. Fair enough then. Football is Americanized now. That's the final nail in the coffin. This was clearly established ages ago and just now chosen to put it in public eye right before the Cup finals. Charlie, who is here, says, big up everyone. Say no to the Super League. Big up Charlie here, but thanks for joining. Legend. Thank you very much as well, Charlie and Stephen. Imagine the fans who just started supporting the Big Six. Football is ruined near and far. Stadio Money scored for Liverpool, but this is an absolute disgrace. Greed is winning. I won't have to swear on that one. A goal for Liverpool, who are an inch closer to a competition they don't need to qualify for. They never cared about the sport, the passion, and the fans. I love this one. The Jolly Green Giant. Ho, ho, ho. No to ESL. No to ESL. No to ESL. Thank you so much for that comment. That's pretty much right down on scripture. PSG will win UEFA Champions League. I don't know whether you agree with that, Matthew.
I get
100%.
where she's coming from. I can explain if you want. Because apparently, no, but like seriously, apparently, UEFA is thinking of expulsing every club that is part of the European Super League out of the competition of this season. So Arsenal, Man United should get out of the Europa League, meaning Villarreal and who's the other? AS Roma, I believe.
Roma.
They should be in the final directly, and PSG should be crowned champions without having to play the semifinals.
Yeah, they're canceled actually. The games have been temporarily canceled.
No, it was fake. It was
announced
fake.
right today.
Yeah,
I finally I got an official confirmation saying they're going ahead.
Yeah, go on, tell us what you know,
I just saw the report on that.
But anyway, look.
What are you making of it, Stephen?
Actually, can I go real quick because I gotta go, but like I want to make like one final point, and if you guys don't mind discussing it, one thing I would like to know from everybody before I leave is what do you guys think of what's gonna happen with the players, and then as far as like the format goes, do you think the quality of the football? What do you guys think about the quality of the football that's gonna happen because of this? I know like as far as like, are we going to see more games like PSG Bayern in that side? If you guys can talk about that. But I got to go. It was a great discussion, guys. But we'll definitely be in touch real soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Bargav.
Thanks for stopping by.
Toss about that.
Can we let Bargav, before you go, do you want to just let everyone know where they can find you? Yeah, that'd be good.
You just find me. I mean, I'm not really a YouTuber. I just like helping out. So yeah, just like you'll see me when you see me.
Find him on Twitter.
Yeah. I'll see you later.
Find him here.
So let's ask Stephen and Charlie, Dugout Daily, this, and start off with Stephen first, then, because you were raring to go. What are you making this whole thing, mate? Seeing as you come in just now.
I just finished mine, and I had my debate this morning, so I didn't make more alone. But I was born into the Wenger era, right? So I managed to get to see Arsenal win the title when I was 10. Luckily. And I got to see him when I was 8 win the double. And we presided ourselves on victory through teamwork. Victoria Concordia Crescit. We valued so much. Everything was done by a touch of class. That club don't exist no more. That club's dead. And I think it was dead for a while, but this tops it. I'm fucking fuming. I'm sorry if did. Yeah, we're allowed to swear because I am fucking fuming. I thought Kroenke was bad. This takes it to another level. David Dean, you prick. You let him round here. Nah, man. Get out of here. Right? You're just a culpable. Right? Glaziers, well, what do you expect from them? Bunch of arseholes. Right? You're now making me choose between whether I support this fucking football club. Are you mad? The club I love. You're telling me I need to now support this? Fuck off.
If you look close enough, you can see the smoke coming out of his ears.
Yeah, you can see it. It's, no. It's like an F1 engine. It's blown up. Boom. Right? It's like a nuclear bomb's gone off in my head. Right?
I mean, everyone can relate, I think.
I'm sorry, mate. I've never probably met you, and I'm probably a really nice guy. I'm usually a really nice guy. I'm really calm.
No, but I relate to you. I see myself in your reaction. So,
but just how can they do this? How?
Can I ask the same question?
Do you know why they can? Because UEFA, FA, FIFA, all the government bodies, you're a bunch of wimps, cowards, pussies, don't care. Just because you have never stamped your foot down, right? FFP. The moment you didn't do FFP the first time, they literally thought, that's it. We can do what we want. We could break the rules again. We could do what we want. Because this lot haven't got a backbone, right? I'll give it to you an example. F1 for example, right? This is my greatest sport. One of my
I'm stopping you. I've got a breaking news. Report from Paul Tenorio, medium reliability. Sorry. Apparently, every Super League clubs have decided to transfer their UCL trophies to the Super League. Real Madrid will start with 13 Super League championships. Oh, where is there? So I don't know what you guys.
So that's a good start. We ain't got any.
So Arsenal just don't get anything out of that, do they?
Neither do Spurs.
We're walking into a competition to become Tottenham. This is so embarrassing, mate.
At the end of the day,
we've never won the Champions League. We've got a manager who can't even get his top half of the Premier League, right? And you want us to compete against Bayern Munich? Are you mad?
AC Milan, Arsenal, and Tottenham are dreadful. Like they're just going to be the last.
I heard that Arteta was about to walk out the door. I was like, "Oh, that's one positive."
Guys, let me just get Charlie in here because you haven't said anything yet. Sorry. Charlie, man, sorry, don't be sorry. One, it's very passionate. Isn't it? We have all these feelings about what's going on, but let's just ask Charlie because we like to get a diverse answers to these questions. From a Man City perspective, Charlie, how are you feeling about it, and your age as well? Because this is, you're growing up into this sport now, and it's changing like a lot, hasn't it, in the last 10 years? Like, what do you make of it?
You think I want to grow up into this shit? Seriously, it's a fucking joke. It's shambles, man. Honestly, I might just give up and do the rules of cricket. Get on with that.
Join the F1, mate. I'll teach you. Right? It's a governing body that actually cares about the fans.
Stephen, this is what I have to say to the ESL.
Got another breaking news. Bayern Munich, Porto, and Dortmund could return to the UCL in replacement of Chelsea, Real Madrid, and Manchester City.
What the fuck?
Which would be the same for the Europa League as well, with Slavia Praha returning for Arsenal.
That's what I was going to ask.
We're gonna let the bunch of racists come back in. Oh, this is really.
UEFA is making a joke out of themselves.
It's not confirmed,
but everyone is, though. Everyone is making a joke out of themselves, though. Like the fans are being made fools of, and they're just creating comedy. They grew tired of sports, and they're making comedy now.
It's like a drama show right now. It doesn't feel like I'm watching an actual live sport. It's like
it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I've heard the new I've heard the new anthem. Money talks. Money talks. Dirty cash.
Here comes the money.
I still can't imagine. How did Arsenal and Spurs sneak their way into this?
I'm sorry, but how was
the-
Yeah, but
Spurs in it?
whoa.
Throw in AC
We've won
Milan as
something.
well.
Yeah.
Throw in AC Milan. They're
AC
just
Milan
whack.
as well.
Yeah,
It's
but
going to be a
AC
last
Milan have
place
done.
battle.
Everyone has done something apart from one team, Tottenham.
No, Manchester City as well.
They have been
guess don't
picked
you-
because of their
Nah.
stadium and the number of fans that they can accommodate.
Yeah, but I don't
Tottenham-
care.
Tottenham
Tottenham
Hotspur, they
have
have
done
two
nothing.
European
Tottenham have
Cups.
done nothing. What
Yeah.
the Leicester have
They
done
have-
something.
They have
Let's
two
get
European
Premier
Cups.
Yeah,
Let's-
City
one-
have
one-
City
one-
have
one-
been really successful lately, and AC Milan's like the third biggest club in the world. Like
And
they
Leicester-
can't.
and
They can't
Leicester
Not,
won a
not
Premier League.
anymore. Not anymore.
But
not,
yeah.
not recently, mate, but it's not that long
Historically.
ago that Kaká was shining.
15 years ago.
But what I'm saying is
Yeah,
Leicester, for example, they've won a Premier League. They've done more than Tottenham. They've done more than Tottenham. Tottenham, last time they won the league was 60-61. It was black and white back then.
I mean,
So-
yes, but they have two European Cups. They have multiple FA Cups. I mean, they
Yeah,
have
but
as much trophies as Manchester City.
We take the mick out of Tottenham because they win nothing.
Yeah,
So,
but like
so why the part of this?
no, but like being objective, like I mean,
No, but Machu, the last time they won anything that wasn't a Carabao Cup, I think it was the '80s, mate.
yeah,
So like it's
No,
been a hot minute.
I mean, you guys.
Yeah,
I think
FA Cup in
now
the late
you'll see
80s.
AFTV complaining
Yeah, there
about
you go.
job holding not being Super League quality in front of the Emirates.
I'm gonna jump in right now. We've got 9 people viewing. Please do smash the like, share, and
Please,
subscribe.
please.
Do really
Subscribe
help us.
to it now.
And if you
Ne-
want to
next
Smash
comment,
week-
the like button if you hate the
Yeah.
Super League.
if you want to comment, and you want to, if you want to put a comment in and come and talk, please do. Yeah, and smash subscribe and like.
Yeah.
Matthew, I think we wanted to get your opinion on why PSG haven't entered into this. Like, do you know anything about that?
It's pretty
why
obvious
they?
why.
Yeah, I said it earlier. PSG don't want to get into the European Super League for one reason, being the president. Nasser El Khalifi owns Bain, the group Bain Sports, which have the right to broadcast the Champions League. So it would just be a massive loss, a massive financial loss. So it's the main reason. And that's about it, basically.
Yeah,
There is
I-
another
And the
reason.
Qatar
They've got
World
their
Cup.
hands in the World Cup as well.
Yeah, and also because Nasser is now the most powerful person in the European Club Association.
Yeah.
Now that Andrea Agnelli has left.
Chris, is
Oh,
this
yes.
Dutch? Is this Dutch Sven?
Maybe I think so.
I think so. Yeah. Shouts
Yes,
out to
probably.
you. Shouts out to you, mate. We'll get you on to talk about the Eredivisie, which also I think they're emerging, aren't they? Possibly with the Belgium league. So that's
Oh, that's gonna be
something
really
else.
cool. Yeah, that's gonna be really cool.
So what do you make of that, guys? Of all these leagues that are not accepted, maybe making bigger domestic leagues. Is that a good idea?
I think it's
I don't-
really cool.
I don't care.
Steven doesn't care, but
I
I
don't
think
care.
this I fully support. Like these leagues that like can't possibly be as big as the main leagues, because there's just not enough people watching, not enough money. If they get together, like just become a bigger league, I'm fully supportive of that. Belgium and the Netherlands. I was talking to you guys earlier. I know Macho raised the point that it might not be possible because of history, but a Scandinavian league could be really cool. It seems that like he said it himself that it seems that Mexico and the US might unite as well.
It's
That
bound
can
to
only
happen.
it's gonna happen. So it's I think it's gonna raise the competitions. It's not gonna these. I mean, I'm gonna be disrespectful if I'm saying the Dutch league is not that traditional, but
The
they
Dutch
they
league
want
is the
to.
8th best league in the world, like behind the Russian and the. I don't know. They've just passed the Russian league. They're no 7th, but like.
Are they
It's
considered
still
better
nice.
than ours?
Hmm?
Are they considered better than
No,
Brazil's?
I don't know if the UEFA ranking counts the
Oh,
Brazilian
okay.
league. Probably not, but in Europe they are the 7th and
Yeah.
almost tied with Russians. So it's not
Yeah.
much.
That makes sense, right? After the big 5, you have Portugal. Turkey's a decent
So-
league every now and then. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the English league's got to go beyond them. Trust me. After this, yeah, I was just going to ask. I was just going to ask actually. Mati, do I take that you come from France?
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. Just
Paris.
wondering how do you get some money to support Inter Milan?
Ever since I know what a football is. My family like just couldn't care less about the sports. So once I played, I don't remember which game, but I played football game, and I don't know, I just liked Inter. I wanted to pick them, and I was like 4 or 5 years old, so it stick with me. So,
Okay.
and yeah, ever since I really was able to discover football, watching it at friends' house, and yeah, I mean, I watched
Okay.
Inter. And
So, guys, I think just
Interesting.
to end off the stream, I don't know whether you agree with this question being a good question, but what do you think should happen now to the leagues in effect? Do you know what I mean? Do you think they should stop the league now and ban the teams before they finish it, or do you think they should continue until the end?
they've been thinking of it. I've heard reports that in the Premier League, the 14 other teams want to cancel the league. It has been thought as well in La Liga and Serie A, but nothing confirmed. Though I still kind of think in the Premier League it's more tense than anywhere else.
That we're
I'm
gonna
sure.
have to.
I'm sure.
Sorry,
I'm sure
'cause that we're gonna
Steven,
have-
Beyond the Post, and myself are not going to care about that. Like, the league is dead for us anyway.
To be fair, that look, we're gonna have to accept that this is not gonna happen until tomorrow morning. They're supposed to have a meeting now. Usually a meeting happens between all 20 clubs in the Premier League. Now it's only 14 clubs, which makes a very big statement, especially when they want to include everyone. But yeah, they're discussing with that now. So obviously that will be on the table tomorrow morning. So you have to wait for that. That will be to about after the afternoon. But do you know what? This club can do what it wants. I don't bloody support it anymore. It's not the club I love anymore.
Charlie,
I'm not supporting them in this anymore.
Can I just say, Charlie the Third, you wanted to say something there, didn't you?
Me?
Or did you not?
No.
I saw you had your finger up like that. You did it earlier, but I was like, all right.
No,
Okay, cool.
I was saying I'll be back in a minute.
All right.
Can I ask one question to everyone then? Right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Marley, would you still support Arsenal for this?
We were just talking about this, mate. But I can repeat my answer to you, no problem. I feel like it's going to become a guilty pleasure because I'm not sure I'm strong enough to just ignore a club that I've supported and loved for so long. But it's not something I'm going to like publicly support. It's going to become like watching Glee, something I'm very embarrassed of doing, because like I have a club that I support in Brazil, so I'm not going to be as as orphan as you guys are going to be of like the team you love. But it's I don't know, man. I'm not sure I'm strong enough to just ignore the club, but I should. Like from thinking right and wrong, I should say fuck you to Arsenal right now.
Beyond the Post, what about you?
I said this before as well. My loyalty is not to the league, it's to the club. And I will support Arsenal because even if they remove the 6 big clubs from from England, and they continue the league, I think they don't have the financial capability to continue this league. And they will probably go bankrupt before the Super League does, because the Super League is going to sign a 23-year deal with the sponsors. It's going to be continuing for the next 23 years. And they have enough finances to run throughout that period. But the Premier League, if they lose their major audiences, they lose their sponsorship deals, they lose their biggest cash cows, they lose their biggest audience. Eventually, what will they pay to Sky Sports and other branding companies that they have to, and what will be the revenue share? I don't think there will be enough money. It would be a very stupid call for them to actually get rid of the 6 teams, even if they feel for some reason that our clubs will not play their first team, or they have to edit the format of how teams go into the Champions League and the Europa League. They should probably try to find a middle ground, as I keep saying, rather than getting rid of them, which will eventually hurt them more financially. And already the money is limited because of the pandemic and the lack of audiences. They will go bankrupt very soon. And I don't think they have enough reserves as well. If they did, they would have probably just thrown them out a long time ago when they just even came up with the idea of such a league.
Yeah, I agree. Just want to shout out this. I just want to shout out this here, guys. Breaking from Van der Sar. Ajax is completely taken aback and disappointed by the announcement of the ESL. Ajax announced that they support the new setup proposed by UEFA, as confirmed on Monday. I wouldn't stop supporting my club as an LFC supporter. I stopped supporting the boards, still behind the squad. So what about you, Stephen and Charlie? You've asked everybody else, of course, but what about you? How do you feel about your clubs? Would you still continue to support them if they continue with this? Stephen first, I guess.
No. It's not a club I love anymore.
No.
I'm not. It's not a joke. It's just tearing me apart, and I was staying up all night over this because they're effectively pushing me to an ultimatum. And I'm sorry, I can't back the club on this. The club's died, in my opinion. They've literally just Bertie me, George Graham, Wenger, right? Or Bertie me, Bertie me, for example, Herbert Chapman, all the ones that have been and gone, right? With God rest their souls, right? All the ministries workers that started the club, you've just taken a massive shit on them.
Wow,
that's what you've done. All you've done, and all what we've done for this league, right? Same as Liverpool's, Man United and Liverpool, Arsenal should be fucking disgusted with themselves because they have built the foundations of this league. I'm sorry, compared to Chelsea, Man City, and Tottenham, right, and the others, we have been in history for years and years and years. We have made English football what it is. And now to do this and backstab it like this, you've just taken a massive shit on it. And I'm sorry, that's not the club that I knew didn't have the support. I didn't have the club that I loved a long time ago. But this has just pushed me over the edge, and I'm saying I can't support this no more. I will follow football on my channel, but I will not be doing any Arsenal watch-alongs. I will not be mentioning like they don't exist to me.
What about you, Dugout Daily? Would you still support City through this?
Yeah, I'm City till I die, mate. It's free thick and thin.
Okay. Well, we're almost at the end, guys. Matthew, any more information you can feed us on this thing that's happening?
I don't really know. I think we've covered pretty much everything, like the banning of every club from their domestic competitions. We've talked about the future of the current season's European competitions. I'm trying to figure out, but I think it's about it, really. Like, problem is we're still waiting for the leagues to actually end their emergency crisis meeting. In Italy, I think we already mentioned it, or was it before starting the podcast? But it hasn't ended, and Juventus, Inter Milan, and AC Milan, for those who haven't heard it, took part of it and want to remain in the domestic competitions. Though the UEFA will fight to get every ESL participating club to be banned from their domestic comps. So yeah, that's about it. It's a mess. It's a ginormous mess.
Marley?
Toast to the death of football.
Full screen me, mate. Full screen me.
Okay, here we go. You ready?
Yeah, I am. If you're worried about football in general, I know the quality is not great,
Jesus.
but it's probably better not see me in too many pixels. If you're worried about football in general,
I'm this on a microwave.
This show
Jesus,
here, this show here was never as relevant as it is now. The purpose of the show is to talk about leagues all over the world. So since a lot of leagues we're used to following are going to get quite disappointing or at the very least confusing in the near future, join us. Like in the near future, we're going to be talking about the Brazilian league. We should be talking about Italian football today. By the way, Mathieu, thank you so much for coming. You're welcome whenever you want. You're always welcome.
I mean,
And I want to talk about
my note.
I want to talk about the what?
I still have my paper to talk about Italian football. It's there. Next time.
Yeah, exactly. Want to talk about. By the way, CP and I, Chris Paul and I, we wanted to use this opportunity to convince everyone, try to show you guys the way and adopt a South American team, guys. We're gonna be the home of football for a while, it seems. We have integrity. We still have a pretty decent, solid Champions League in the Libertadores. So Chris Paul and I are Fluminense fans. I encourage everyone to find one. Flamengo is doing great. Don't support them. I hate them, but they're great. Argentina has a
support
lot of
fans
nice
more.
teams. Go ahead
If
and
you're
do
a
that.
former Liverpool fan, you could follow Liverpool in Uruguay. They have like
There you go. There you
I
go.
think there's an
There's a-
Arsenal somewhere in Russia or
There,
somewhere.
Yeah.
there's an Arsenal in
in like
Sarandí,
Argentina.
Argentina.
I'm supporting
exactly.
them. That is the
Yeah,
new
yeah.
Arsenal for me.
So
There you go.
that's it. I encourage you to adopt a team somewhere else, and you can use us as a guide because we're gonna be teaching you about these countries. Okay,
The
so
J
stay
League,
tuned.
the Austrian League, the
every single fucking league.
Liga MX, and the Czechoslovakia. No, Czechoslovakia doesn't exist. The Czechs League are all very good. Just saying.
Right. Anybody
Greek league,
else?
the Greek,
Chris?
I could ask Stephen Couture to come on for the Greek league if you want to.
Absolutely, yeah, we'd love that.
Yeah.
We'd love that.
I'll contact them.
Chris Paul will be on the post. You got anything else to add before we finish off here?
Nothing much.
Oh, I don't want to see the teams being removed from the domestic competitions. But if UEFA will be stubborn that either you do it this way, our way, or you do it by without being in the leagues, then I think the teams will decide to probably leave because, see, it doesn't happen overnight that all the top clubs, not all, most of the top clubs across the top leagues in Europe suddenly decide that we want to leave all our tradition, all our titles, everything that we have worked for like maybe 100, 200 years now. They have a reason to go. There is more to it from their side that they are not happy about with UEFA. And I don't think it is an impulsive decision. And they have a certain reason, which maybe we don't understand. It's not just money. It's a game of power as well. If you've seen, that is why these exchanges are currently happening with the Super League throwing one trump card at UEFA and UEFA throwing one back at them. Like they just announced that we'll be shifting the Champions League titles to Super League titles, and UEFA saying that we will be getting you banned from the leagues and changing the Champions League and Europa League semi-finalists and finalists. So I think it is more about a game of power. It's not just about the money, and there is more to it behind the scenes. Probably we'll come to know in the upcoming days once we head towards the end of this season. So let's see what happens, and that is why I am more curious than more decisive with respect to the side I'm supporting.
Breaking news: I mean, we've said it before, but it is official that the Champions League trophies will be transferred to Super League trophies. It has been confirmed by the
Great.
Super
So
League
we start
website.
with 0.
Just like Manchester City and Spurs.
No change there.
I've read this as well. Villarreal changed their official Twitter name. Villarreal fans against plastic ESL.
And Real Betis has modified their Liga table on their websites by removing Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, and Barcelona, meaning Sevilla is first.
Do you know what? I knew we should have won that Champions League in Paris. I knew we should have won it.
It was kind
Charlie,
of
what was you going to say?
The only chance we had.
Little Charlie, what was you
I just want to say, your local teams, like I know Matt, for you it's Barnet, they're suffering right now because of COVID. So if you can go and watch them, go and fund them, buy something from the club shop, do anything you can because they're suffering due to COVID.
Well, mate, Barnet moved anyway. They're now in Edgware. Like they've done a franchise thing themselves, mate. I'm like, it's got further away from me now. It ain't local anymore. It's like, so I don't know. I'll probably pick someone a bit closer because it's too hard to get to these days. Stephen, go on, and then we'll ask Chris his opinion. Then we'll wrap up. Stephen,
you on the post? Can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
Do you support this?
I support my
you
club.
do.
Yeah, I have no problem with them making the Super League. I don't want them gone from the league, and I want a middle ground between the two parties because I can understand that UEFA is actually trying to overpower the teams that are trying to get something for themselves.
What is the reaction of Steven? Like, look at this.
Yo, mute Steven. What? He's not gonna let this go. Mute him, Matt. Mute Steven now.
No.
Steven's not gonna let this go, mate.
Be quiet, Jesus.
No, I asked Steven a simple question in the morning. I asked him, if someone donates £1,000 to your channel and says use this money for good and give it to charity, You remember I said this in the morning as well. Yes, would you take the money, or would you argue that you have not?
This is not charity, though.
No, I get it, but that is the same thing
The
that is
rich are
coming this
getting
way.
richer. That's what's happening.
Yeah, what is this?
You're on your own, Stephen. You're on your own, all right?
Sorry, this is not charity, right? These are rich men who already have millions and millions and millions beyond like recognition, right? Wanting even more. How could you want more?
You said
No,
clubs.
man.
Those are
And
companies,
Frankie got
not
so
clubs.
many losses from
They
this
have
coronavirus.
They
He's
have more
poor
money
now.
than they have the
Even John,
NHS
let
debt.
this go. So, guys, we had a good show. Let's end.
Yeah.
I think we're finished now, aren't we all?
We are.
Hopefully,
I'm gonna pray to Marley, Jesus.
Going to need more than that, I think, mate. I think we're going to need more than that. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in today. We're on 9 people viewing right now. It's gone up and down to 15, 20 and all sorts of things. So subscribe, share, like. Thank you so much for Matthew, Chris Paul, Marley, Beyond the Post, S. Featley TV, Charlie from Dugout Daily. Thank you so much for coming on. And let's hope that football doesn't die a painful death. Everybody, just keep your fingers crossed that this we're going to get through this, because I just hope that football doesn't get ruined and the fans can get what they want, which is to see a sport that they love. So that'll be it. Marley, because you're my co-bro. Anything else you want to say just to end it off there?
It's probably not correct enough for it to be a last statement, but let's just hope that we all wake from this psychedelic nightmare that we're having together for some fucked up reason, and that football gets back to normal, because this is just not right. Like, what's happening is just like, I mean, I should support the idea of Arsenal staying in a league that's going to get us rich, right? But I can't. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It's murdering the most beautiful game in the world. Like, and we can't have it. We can't have it. I was crucified to, help us with the sins or whatever. Don't keep it up.
Brilliant. Thank you for that, Charlie. And everybody have a pleasant rest of your evening, wherever you are in the world, if it is the evening, that is. If it's not, just enjoy your time, wherever you are, okay? And we'll see you back next time. I'm not sure what our show is going to be next time. Football's dead or something like that. Maybe not. Hopefully we can just...
It'll become Cricket United TV. That's what.
Oh, God.
Let's play ice hockey. Let's all play ice hockey in Sweden.
Formula 1 United TV.
We're probably going to be traveling to Brazil, guys. We're probably going to be traveling to Brazil.
Futsal in Brazil.
I'm not listen, guys. I'm not doing watch-alongs for cricket, okay? Like, that's not happening, all right?
I mean, the IPL is not bad. Yes,
especially for Test series.
But
a whole 24 hours.
5 days watch along, yes.
Oh, God, it'd be terrible. Everybody, that's it. Subscribe, share, like, go check out everybody else's content, especially the football viewer, S. Featley TV, Dugout Daily, Beyond the Post, and Football United TV. Of course, this is where you are. See you later, everybody. Enjoy yourselves. Bye-bye.